Hi, I'm Mitchell Dale. This is Rugby League Week's Friday Arvo Footy. Joined on the couch today by Martin Lenihan from Rugby League Week, Eric Grove Jr. from the Cronulla Sharks. Thanks for joining us, boys. What's been happening, Eric?
Not much, mate. You outdo yourself every week with the attire.
I left it over to the wardrobe department.
Yeah, they're on
very
fire,
good
mate,
here at Bauer.
wardrobe.
Baby poo brown, it's nice.
I'm colourblind, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, big game tonight, boys. Storm and the Broncos. Now, interestingly, Melbourne, they're riding a 6-game winning streak against the Broncos. They play very well up at Suncorp as well.
They sure do, mate. Big game team, aren't they? They're up for the occasion all the time. They obviously love the big crowd up there at Suncorp. They absolutely lapped Brisbane when they played them last year. That was at Amy Park, but really they are, they're up for this. I reckon Melbourne. It's a big away trip for them, but they've got the big three. You've got Ryan Hoffman. There's guys there that are, they're used to this atmosphere, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Melbourne obviously used to travelling, and one of the things as a player, I remember playing up at Suncorp, it's hard to play bad. The atmosphere's so good, the way the stadium surrounds you, everyone's looking down on you. It's a real professional outfit, and yeah, it is pretty hard to play bad there, actually. Yeah,
look, I guess the other thing for the Storm is that they always have had a lot of Brisbane or Queensland players. They've got 4 Queensland Origin reps in their side this year alone, so that's got to help them when they go up there. They're familiar with it. They like playing there.
Know every blade of grass, mate, as they say, the classic cliche. I think Cooper Cronk, getting back to some good form after the broken arm. Billy Slater just continues to shine. I think, look, they are a team that knows they're 6 weeks from the finals. Started to find a bit of form. I think they're going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, it's just that time of year, and when Melbourne click into another gear, it's scary to watch. It's scary from being another team's point of view, but it's great to watch as a spectator.
Yeah, now the intriguing thing for me with Brisbane is Ben Barber. Of course, he's been named in the 6th jersey this week. He was switched there late. He and Josh Hoffman switched late last week. Brian Smith's had a look at Ben Barber in the magazine this week, and in particular, the extra penetration that Josh Hoffman at the back gives the Broncos. His kick returns is much stronger than Barber's, well, has been this year.
Yeah, a little bit more dynamic in terms of returning the ball back for that play one, getting a quick play of the ball and setting the set up nicely. In saying that, Benny Barber was good at that a couple of years ago too. So yeah, it's interesting that it's turned out like this.
Pretty good record of switching a fullback to 5'8" up there at Brisbane.
Yeah, they
did it fairly well in the past. So look, I think if this can liven up Ben Barber, it's been a pretty tough year for him. And Josh Hoffman's a great player. So I mean, if he can find his form, Barber keeps going well in the number 6. So a great last week late in the game, coming back against the Warriors when all seemed lost. So.
Well, Hoffman was outstanding in attack and defence last year. I think you look at Barber's stats this year compared to even last year, and especially 2012, he's down in all of the key components. Probably hasn't been his best year, but again, switching him to 5'8" might just be what he needs.
I think definitely, mate. I think as a defender in the line, I can imagine, I'm on the wing, so it doesn't occur to me often, but being in the middle there and seeing a Ben Barber, someone with a turn of pace that he has, with the ball in 2 hands, making the defence have second guess themselves, mate, that could just spell disaster for anyone.
Yeah, look, the big thing I think for Barber playing up in the line is defensively. We saw a few times last week against the Warriors that there was a bit of indecision there. He did make some good front-on tackles against Ben Henry, but there was a little bit of indecision early.
Yeah, that'll come with being in the line, and obviously he'll be out on the edges. He's not going to be in the guts there because he's a little guy, so people are going to treat him as a spot player. But yeah, mate, it's just something that'll come with practice. He hasn't been there long, but once he's been there for a while, I'm sure he'll get into a rhythm and a routine.
Yep. Okay, boys, quick tip.
Look, it's been a huge week in Brisbane, obviously, with Wayne Bennett, the announcement of him going back. I reckon a lot of these guys will want to have a big win for Anthony Griffin. I think they can beat the Storm.
I think the Storm are going to do it, sorry, Leno, but I just think that they're business end of the season for them. They're just setting up for a massive finals campaign.
Well, this is interesting because I'm going to tip with you. I'm going to go for the Storm as well.
My man.
Well, look, I think the thing is they play so well up in Brisbane. I think they've won 8 of their past 11 as well, the Storm, and I just think they're starting to get a roll the back end of the year, as you guys have said. I think it'll be a close one, but it's a Storm for me as well. Okay, boys, the other big game tonight, Roosters and the Knights, and I've got to say, if I was the other 15 clubs, I'd be getting a little bit nervous about the Roosters. I think they weren't at their best before round 18. They had the bye and they've really come out of that well. They were very good against the Panthers last weekend.
Yeah, they went away on camp and up the Central Coast, I'm pretty sure, and I spoke to Craig Fitzgibbon 2 days before they played the Penrith, and he said, mate, something special is going to happen here this weekend. He goes, mate, if you're a betting man, you'd put all your money on the Roosters. He goes, we're definitely going to win this. He wasn't saying bet on the Roosters.
No one bets in
rugby league.
You can't
He said, yeah, so he said, mate, 100% we're going to win this. He just had a feeling. He goes, there's been a shift in attitude. They had a big chat. Nick Politis spoke to him and said, boys, it's all about back-to-back premierships. So, mate, I can't wait for the final series already.
That was the thing about them. I mean, they never really hit any heights, but they just kept winning, and they were still in a position where they were fourth. Everyone was saying they're not playing very well, and they're this and they're that. They're well off last year, but they were still in fourth spot, so they're in an ideal position to sort of launch through the last 2 months of the season now.
Definitely, and you don't want to be on top of your game all year. As funny as it'd be great to be, but in the realistic world, you got to have your down periods, and what a great time to start really hitting your straps now, a bit like Melbourne.
Yeah, you don't win the comp in March. I mean, that's the thing. We spoke last week about South and the Roosters and said they were probably both ready to find a bit of form. So, look, I think from Newcastle's point of view, I mean, last weekend it was an amazing day for Alex McKinnon, but I reckon a lot of those guys left their emotion, on the sideline there with him, and it just they were very flat on the field. Hard to see how they get up now with all the drama that's going on around the place. You just expect the Roosters to be too strong. Yeah,
it almost seems like footy secondary to them, and it has been ever since the Alex McKinnon tragedy, and they've just had a horrible year all round off the field. So, boys, quick tip, Leno?
Oh, I'd say the Roosters by 18.
Yeah, I hope it's a lot closer than that. I'll tip the Roosters. Hopefully it's a little bit closer from a spectator's point of view.
Yeah, 3 from 3. I'm going for the Roosters as well. I'm leaning towards Leno. I think it might blow out a little bit. Okay, and of course tonight in the Roosters and the Knights game, we're going to hear Channel 9, as we do every Friday, the great Ray Rabs Warren commentating. Now, we went out to his book launch, his book called The Voice, went out there during the week, caught up with the great man. Let's hear what he has to say about what he loves about the game.
Well, I think it's character building. I think that's the first thing that people tend to overlook. We've got some kids that have fallen off the truck. But we've got 99 out of 100 that are very good kids, and rugby league builds good character, I'm sure. We've got very good people teaching the game at the top level, and they will tell you the thing that they enjoy most is being able to cultivate and nurture good people. I think in many ways it takes a lot of that aggression off the streets. It puts it out on the football field. I think that's got to be good. Apart from that, though, it's just such a thrilling sport to call. And I'm one of those commentators, I couldn't sit through a day's cricket. It would drive me mad. But you give me the football, give me a horse race, give me a swimming race, and I just love it,
Got to say, the most impersonated man in rugby league. Rarely does anyone get it right. What do you reckon, Eric? You're going to give us your best Ray Rabs Warren impersonation?
No, I'm not. I'm actually not too bad at it, and I'm a very
come
harsh
on.
critic. No,
if you're good at it, you've just talked yourself up.
I'm not going to talk in my Rabs voice about your baby Pooh Brown t-shirt. That's just final.
You've got to let that go.
On a serious note, what about that? His voice is just, it is rugby league, isn't it? I can't imagine him not being the voice of Friday Night Footy.
No, you haven't heard a more appropriately named book title for a while. The voice he is. He's the voice of rugby league.
Yeah, look, as David Gingell and Phil Gould and a couple of others said at the launch at the SCG, which was a great day, I must say, great tribute to Ray Warren.
You only say that because you're on the beers at 11 o'clock.
You can't say that, Mitch. I was there in an official capacity, but what a fine launch it was. And as you said, mate, he's just an icon of Australian sport. And I think Phil Gould made the point beautifully that Ray's voice just lifts the game. Gus said that when he first got into coaching, he'd watch hours and hours of tape of teams just trying to learn a bit about the game, but it was just the one camera angle from the grandstand, and he just sat there and there was no commentary, and he said the difference when you hear Ray's voice and what he brings to the game is just incredible. So get out and get yourselves a copy of the book. It's a fine read.
Yeah, it's called The Voice. It's at all good bookstores now. I'd urge you to go out and grab a copy. Boys, it's us for the week. Thanks for joining us, Leno.
Mitch.
Eric, thank you for joining us.
Thank
You
you,
want to take
Leno.
one
Thank
last
you,
shot at my shirt?
No, I like your shirt. I'm just saying that because I'm jealous.
Yeah, sure.
When you tease someone, you like them. It's like at school when you like a girl and you just tease her until she kisses you. Can you kiss me?
So do you want me to kiss you? It's time to go. We'll see you next week. You've been watching Friday Arvo Footy.